Hello, this is Cynic, and this is another video for Dark Souls. This video we'll be going to the church we missed out earlier. I was going to do that in the last video, but it was already pretty long. But yeah, what I'm trying here is, I know you can join a covenant somewhere around here, but I never actually managed to join it at any point. You don't really get all that much from it. You get a miracle that is basically the only damaging miracle you can get, but it's one of these locations. The problem is you also have faith requirement of about 25, and I don't have enough faith on this character to actually find it, so that might be the problem. But other than that, I don't actually know where it is you join this covenant. But it doesn't really matter, let's just go on. Now, we opened this gate earlier, so let's go up here. We have a guy up here we're going to deal with first, and then I'll show another trick I actually learned. An easy way to deal with one of the enemies we have up here. But first, I'm going to do something you probably shouldn't do unless you have the Drake Sword, which is trying to get rid of this Black Knight up here. They're a tougher enemy, but not really that tough. If you have a decent weapon, for example the Drake Sword, you can handle them fairly easily. But yeah, I'm trying to sneak up on him here to try for a backstab. Yeah, I didn't succeed, but I can still take quite a few hits from it actually, and I managed to get a backstab there. If you're fast enough and have a plain arena where you can actually fight them, you can rush over behind them as they get up and perform a backstab right after. But here I did another backstab anyways, and he's down, and we get a Titanite chunk for it. So it's a fairly easy fight if you know what you're doing. Now this guy didn't know what he was doing, that's why he died. If you touch a bloodstain in this game, you can see how that person died. And I'm 3 souls away from having an elite amount of souls. Huh. Oh well. But anyways, let's deal with some of these enemies over here. If you take out your bow and aim and aggro this boar over here, that's a trick you can do to actually defeat it pretty easily. As you can see, it's running towards me now. It will hit me, but I can dodge it fairly effectively, even without the dodge button. And if you wait here, it will go back to its starting position because it doesn't really care about it. It can't see you once you enter there, so you can actually sneak up on it and backstab. That looks really uncomfortable. But oh well, it's an effective way to take out this guy, and it's what I usually do. I found out purely by accident actually. You can't go in there, so it'll just reset the AI when you go in there. Now I just need to deal with these 2 assholes. Yeah, I should be able to do this. By the way, I keep locking on to targets. It's not always a good thing to do. I'm trying to get behind him here. I don't know why I'm going for the backstabs. This Drake Sword is actually really effective. See, I took both out with a simple slash. I don't really know why I didn't do that before. But yeah, I did it there, and did it. Now, someone did ask me, well, they told me that I never really explained how the Estus Flask works. It's a fairly simple matter. The Estus Flask is basically just your basic healing item. You have a limited amount, but you replenish them every time you rest at a bonfire. Depending on how far you've kindled that bonfire, speaking of fire, gonna deal with this guy. Almost died, that's not good, but yeah, we're going to go down here in a moment. Damn. If you're fast enough, you can actually race past this guy and make sure he doesn't close the gate, and you can go that way. I'm just going to go get some more items, but yeah, the Estus Flask, you will try, depending on how far you've kindled each bonfire. As you noticed, when you rest at a bonfire, there's an option that's called Kindle, and if you kindle it, you get 5 additional Estus Flask every time you rest at that bonfire. I can't even hit a box, that's how bad I am at this game. But I can do this. This is one of the more ridiculous things about the game. You can kick a card and it basically explodes. I have no idea why. It just works. But yeah, you can get more Estus Flask that way. And if you use Firekeeper Swords, you can upgrade the Estus Flask to +1, +2, and so on and so forth. Yeah, this is basically an ambush I'm trying to deal with. If you follow that guy trying to kill him, you'll get attacked by these other guys and they'll slaughter you. So if you have to approach carefully. Just gonna deal with this guy up here. Well, you're jumping down, so am I. Now if you fall down from a distance, as you've noticed I've done with 2 bosses, you can attack when you are falling down and you will do a lot more damage. And down here we are going to go get a key, which we need to do something specific in the church a little later on. It's just called Mystery Key, and I will explain what we use it for, don't worry. Now go up this ladder. There's a couple of guys up here as well, but they shouldn't really be too big of a problem. I just fail at blocking here because usually you want to wait until both have attacked you at the same, as close to each other as they can, because that allows you to slash them both right after you block them, because you stun them by blocking. And we pick up another item here. I really hate these sections where you have to balance on these really tight ledges. It can get really risky sometimes, and you will most likely die a lot trying to do those things. There's not much else here. I'm just destroying barrels because destroying barrels is fun. You just roll into them. Best way to destroy them, mostly because you might actually encounter a couple of NPCs that are stuck in barrels, don't ask. And rolling into them is the safest way of getting them out of those barrels. If you attack the barrel, you chance attacking that NPC as well, and you might turn them aggressive towards you, and you have to kill them then. Another thing I want to point out is that I tend to unequip all unnecessary items from my item belt, so I only have the Estus Flask unless I need something else. You can sneak up on this guy, by the way. It's a lot more effective than trying to just rush up and beat him. Mostly because I don't think he's one of the ones that uses a rapier. He uses a straight sword called the Boulder Sword. But yeah, if it's one of the rapier guys, you don't want to aggro those. I'm just taking a look at the Knight Shield. I can still somewhat roll with it, but it's still a little too heavy for me. So I'm just gonna stick with the Kite Shield. The Healer Shield, sorry. It's a better shield overall anyways. Where was I? Yeah, taking off my pants, because that's really gonna help. Might as well put them back on. I usually run around with only my pants, because that's a lot better if you're trying to dodge and stuff. You will get to see quite a bit of my hollow form in this video. Can't really do anything about. What is that guy doing? Come on. Okay, he attacked me, and I managed to parry. That's not easy to do, by the way. In case you haven't noticed, game actually lags somewhat when I record. So doing really accurate stuff like parrying is not easy. Now, here I actually make a mistake. I managed to die here. I tried to aggro these guys, and they didn't really come along, so I decided, well, I'm just gonna run out and kill them then. I actually heard this guy coming, but I didn't really think about it, and I just stood there. I don't know why. But then I heard this guy, and he slashed for me, didn't hit me, but I figured I might try and parry him so I can riposte. Didn't go too well, and he killed me. See, that's what I mean. It's really hard to do accurate actions like parrying when the game is actually lagging. It's not too bad. I did a live stream earlier for about 2.5 hours, and that lag was so bad I couldn't do anything. And the worst part is I decided to try and go up against Ornstein and Smog, which are some bosses we'll see later. Now, if you kill the boar here, it doesn't respawn, so you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, if you hit these guys twice with the break sword, you actually stagger them, and they can't block. It's not an effective strategy. You can also two-hand the sword, and you'll stagger them with the first hit. I think I didn't actually try it. I don't often two-hand my weapons if I can avoid it. I will actually do it later, but you'll see. Just gonna take care of these guys again. Mostly because I can't stand these crossbow guys. They always get in the way. But now they're dead. Now there's a guy running up after us, so we might as well meet him halfway instead of just jumping down. Stab. Kill. 160 damage is not too bad. But still, the Drake Sword is not... It shouldn't be the weapon you choose as your go-to weapon through the entire game. It's not that good. It has a flat attack power, which is why I'm using it right now, because it's not stat dependent. But it's still not a great weapon. And upgrading it isn't really worth it. There's much better weapons you can upgrade with the Dragon Scales, or even use it for Dragon Covenant. I'll explain some of those things a bit later, when we actually get to them, but it's an okay weapon now, but I will actually be discarding it fairly soon. I just want to get the next weapon first. But yeah, we've already seen most of this stuff, so I'm just gonna go through it, smash some barrels, because fuck barrels. Yeah, I'm gonna kill this guy as well. Oh, and we got a humanity. I'll explain a bit more about that, but basically the number on the upper left is our humanity. That's the amount of humanity we have, which is a stat in itself. At 10 humanity we increase our item discovery rate, as well as our various defenses. At 30, which is the highest we can get, we have high enough curse defense that we can't get cursed. Cursed is a status effect I haven't really gotten into already. But I'll explain that at a later point when we actually start meeting enemies that cause curse, because otherwise there's not really much point in actually talking about it. Just gonna sneak up on this guy and backstab him again, because that's fun. As you can see, going for backstabs and ripostes is probably what you should be doing for most part of the game. You can't do it against all enemies, but it's really effective against those you can, because it does a heck of a lot of damage. And depending on what weapons and other items you have, yeah, I managed to parry that guy again. See, it's not impossible, I can do it, I just don't like doing it because I put myself in too much of a risk. And an interesting fact I actually noticed is that if you're using an Xbox 360 controller, there's actually a built-in lag when you push the button. It's not a huge thing, it's a minor thing, but yeah, here I'm just showing that my item discovery is actually higher because I have 1 humanity. At 10 humanity I think you get 200 additional item discovery, and you can get a ring later that boosts it an additional 200, so we can get 410 item discovery. But yeah, just showing there, I used a humanity, I got another humanity, so my item discovery went up 8 points. Just gonna take care of this guy. Easy. And now I can take care of this guy without too much difficulty. Well, he did hit us there, but still. Hit me there, sorry. Running low on stamina here. Never a good thing. You don't want to run out of stamina while you're straight up in the face of an enemy, especially a boss, because then you'll just get raped. You can't dodge if you don't have enough stamina, and if you try to block with low stamina, they'll break through your block and you'll still take damage, so there's really no point in trying to do it. And it's really not a good idea to use all your stamina. But yeah, just gonna take care of this guy by running past him and basically just backstabbing him again. Again, the most effective method, so might as well go for it. We get the basement key here. We'll need that later to actually progress further in the game. But up here we get the weapon I've actually decided I'm going to use for most of this playthrough, at least as much as I feel like doing with it. The halberd is a really good weapon. Anyone that actually knows what a halberd is will also tell you the same thing. The halberd is an incredibly versatile weapon with really good stats. It also has a lot of reach, but it does have its weak points as well. It takes a lot of stamina to use, so you really need to get your endurance fairly high. But then again, I'm going for 40 endurance anyways, because you really need to have high endurance on most characters. I don't really see an argument against not going with at least 40 endurance for most characters, but yeah, you might just go for 40 endurance. You can go more than that, but all that will do is increase your equipment load, which allows you to carry more stuff or bigger armor. But yeah, I basically just cut out here because there's not much else to really talk about. I'm just showing off a special attack that the Drake Sword can do. By two-handing it and pressing R2, you can perform that kind of attack there. Most special weapons have a special attack like that. Not all of them, far from all of them in fact. And it's not really that useful. I mean, it does have some range, but again, it's the Drake Sword. It's not that great of a weapon. I don't really like it. I don't really like using it. I just always get it because it's easy to get. But yeah, I'm just gonna light this bonfire. Right down here we actually have a blacksmith. I think I showed. But yeah, I'm just gonna get another point in endurance here. Puts me up to 20. I'll probably go for 30 before I go before I go with other stats. I am going to get a bit of strength, I think. Vitality is also really good to have. I don't really need all that much dex, because I'm not going with a dex build this time. I'm going for more of a strength build. Yeah. Just organizing my inventory here. I don't like carrying a lot of stuff around with me because it makes it a bit more annoying to actually find the stuff you want to use. I'm keeping the halberd here because I really like the halberd, and I'm going to use it, so might as well keep it around. And all this useless armor I will never use. But I have a way to get rid of it, so I'll be doing that once we actually get to that stage. But let's go say hi to the blacksmith.
Well, you must be a new arrival. I'm Andre of Astora. If you require smithing, then speak to me.
Yeah, I think I could use a couple of things. We learn a new gesture from him.
Most weapons and armor are mighty sturdy indeed, but every hunk of metal has its breaking point. If you notice durability running low, it's time to repair. You can ask a blacksmith like myself, or do it on your own with a grindstone. The nice thing about weapons, they never betray you, so pay them a little respect, eh? There are two types of weapon forging. There's reinforcement and there's ascension. Reinforcement is simple. It strengthens the weapon and nothing more. A simple task for any blacksmith. Hell, you could even do it yourself with a smith box. But ascension's a finer art. It alters a weapon's properties. Ascension is the territory of we blacksmiths. A smith box just won't do the trick. Start out with reinforcement. When that loses its charm, you can consider ascension. As you've noticed, this land is flush with the mad and wicked. You won't make it through the night without employing my services.
I like this guy.
You can forge armor just like you do weapons. Forging armor is even easier than forging weapons. Whether you forge weapons or armor first, Well, that's up to you. But nobody wants to see you go hollow. So whatever you do, you'd better do it well. But so...
And he doesn't really have anything else to say. Let's see, we can't reinforce anything because we don't have any Titanite shards. We can't reinforce an armor either. I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cut the video off in a moment and then go grind a bit so I can get some...
Don't get yourself neither.
So I can get some...
Well, hello. Need...
Yeah, so I can get some Titanite shards. I could buy some now, but right now I'm just checking his inventory. Let's see, he has some pretty decent weapons. He has the Bastard Sword, for example. I actually really like the Bastard Sword, but I'm not going to go with it this time. The Cadius shield, the Cadius Kite Shield is a really good shield. I'm actually going to go with it. It's one of my favorite shields to be honest. He also sells the various smith boxes and the repair box.
Don't get yourself neither.
And he also sells the Crest of Artorias, but we won't need those for a bit. But yeah, I'm gonna cut the video here, and I'll be back right in a moment. Just gonna show off the grinding path I actually normally use. I figure I might as well just show it, just to show you a decent way of getting Titanite shards early on, to at least upgrade your weapon to +5, which I highly recommend you do before you are done with this area. What you do is basically run up here, kill these guys. Occasionally the ones with shields will drop Titanite shards, but not always. I mean, if I had more humanity, like 10 or something like that, I might actually get a lot more drops. But right now I don't really get all that many. But yeah, once you've dealt with those, you run over here. You can actually start walking a bit later than this, depending on what kind of armor you're wearing. Right now I'm just wearing hard leather armor, which doesn't make much noise to begin with, and backstab. And but yeah. Also, another trick with these, if you just keep running into them and then run to the side, you will encourage them to attack and you can just backstab them. No problem. It's an easy thing to do. But then you run over here, and in here, to the right, we have a couple of Balder Knights. These are not really that tough enemies. They do have some pretty nasty attacks occasionally, but they're not impossible to beat. I mean, this guy is fairly easy to beat. The ones with rapiers though, those will appropriately rape you, basically. But yeah, run in here, then run back, drag this guy out, so you have some better footing. See, that's one of the rapier guys. They're not fun. Not only can they not only do they have some insane poking damage, really fast poking damage, but they also have a move where they're basically going around with the rapier raised, and if you hit them while they're doing that, they will punish you. They will counter attack you and kick the shit out of you. If you're not prepared, even if you're prepared for it, unless you have really heavy armor, you're not going to survive after that. But yeah, after you kill this guy, that guy, you basically just run back to the bonfire near the blacksmith, and rinse and repeat. That's it. That's a grinding path I usually take in this area, just to get some additional Titanite shards, maybe get some more humanity. I usually get around 10 humanity before I'm done, anyways. But that's because I usually grind a bit more than what I need. You really, if you only want to upgrade one of your weapons, your main weapon, you really only need 9 Titanite shards, so don't get more. So you don't have to bother getting more than that. You can upgrade your armor, but I wouldn't really recommend it all this early. So yeah, just go with this. And you also get some decent XP. Not a whole lot, but enough to actually get some levels. But yeah, that's the grinding path. Now, I do have one other thing I want to show. I did cut there and grinded a bit. I also died, as you might notice. I have no humanity or souls, but that's because I actually tried to do this fight prior to dying, and I didn't really think about how it all works. But yeah, take out these guys first. I highly recommend that. And as you can see, I'm using a halberd now, which is a lot better. I really like this weapon a lot more than the Drake Sword. It also does almost the same damage right now, so that's a good thing. But yeah, go in here and aggro this guy. A lot of new players will probably have a lot of trouble with him unless they've actually already mastered the art of dodging and blocking. If you know how to dodge and block, this guy is no problem. I have no idea why I ran over there. But yeah, drag him out here, and you actually have a much better platform to beat him. The main reason I drag him here is because, yeah, as you can see, if you know how to block and dodge, it's not really that big of an issue. Just keep your distance if you have a halberd and poke him whenever he lowers his shield, and you can kill him fairly easily. Now, you can parry this guy, but you can't riposte him. You can't backstab him either. And he drops a Titanite shard. He always drops that, by the way. But yeah, that's how you beat him. But another reason why I dragged him out here to beat him is because up here, on the other side of where he was, there's actually this guy who's throwing spells at you. But right now I'm just gonna go get the Firekeeper's Soul over here, which allows us to upgrade our Estus Flask to +2. Right now it's only +1, but yeah, the guy you can see up there, he'll cast spirit. What are they called? Soul arrows. Yeah, soul arrows. At you if you're fighting the heavy guy there. So you want to drag him out there so you have a better playing field and so that he doesn't have any backup. And my phone just went off. Never mind. But yeah, that's what I would do to beat him. You can still try to beat him while in there and try to dodge the soul arrows while you're doing it, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's not really that easy. But yeah, I'm just gonna go down and upgrade our Estus Flask and level up a bit. No, I'm not gonna level up. Huh. I was pretty sure I leveled up, but yeah, I've already shown how to upgrade our Estus Flask, so I'm not going to talk much about it. Much about that. By the way, the only way you can upgrade your Estus Flask is if you talk to a Firekeeper. There's 3 or 4 Firekeepers in the game. I think it's 3. Yeah, 3 Firekeepers in the game. No, is it 4? I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, there's at least 3 I remember. And you have to talk to those to reinforce your Estus Flasks. If you kill them, or they're killed in some other connection, which can happen, then you won't be able to upgrade your Estus Flasks. But yeah, right now I'm just going to... Actually, I'm going to go kill the guy who shoots soul arrows. Mostly so I can go free a guy who's locked up in the Undead Parish. Now, this is one of the advantages of... this is height advantage in Dark Souls, basically. And that move, by the way, that's the one you need to look out for, because if you attack them while they're doing that, they will counter-attack you. But yeah, this is the height advantage. The one on the lower height is actually the one with the advantage, because the enemy can't hit you, if they're that kind of enemy. Now, I had heard that you could run in and hit the corner there, and you would aggro the guy shooting soul arrows, but I didn't for some reason. I just stood here. I have heard that this works. I think I also saw it, but I think I just did it wrong. So what I'm basically going to do is wait here until he comes, which he doesn't, and then I'm going to move forward to try and deal with him in another way. Because I don't really want to deal with him and all his little friends. He has a bunch of normal hollows up there that will wreck your shit if you're not careful. But yeah, if you keep yourself standing against the wall and use the windows to try and block his shots, he'll just keep standing there casting spells and he'll never hit you. Now, the thing is, I actually thought that he would run out of spells eventually, but yeah, as you see here, he dropped down. I wasn't expecting that, but it works. I mean, it's one way of doing it. I mean, if he's down here, I can actually deal with him. But yeah, I really did think he could run out of spells, but it seems like these guys don't. I don't know why. But yeah, eventually he's going to stop casting spells and to actually try and go for me. I didn't want to go for him because, as you can see in the background, I haven't beaten the Baldurn Knights, and I didn't want to handle those as well as him at the same time, because he can actually do quite a bit of damage, even without his spells. And I do think he ran out of spells now, but I'm not. I think he uses spells later on in this fight, so I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, he can do a lot of damage, so I'd be careful. You can see he took down over half of my health there. So you have to be really careful. And there he still has spells, so I can block them, but it won't help me. Now what I did was actually I thought, well, I could just go down and he will reset or something. I didn't want to go up again and fight him while he's there, because that basically means he's going to slaughter me. But yeah, he did actually stay there, but he wasn't in attack range when I went up again, as we'll see. But yeah, this is one of the ways you can try and cheat, well, not really cheat the game, but trick the game into doing what you want it to do. You exploit the weaknesses of the AI and try to get the terrain advantage. For the most part, you want to have more space you can actually be on, and he managed to shoot me there, and I managed to miss him, but not twice. I got him there. He does actually have a decent amount of HP. Actually surprised me a bit, but yeah, now he's dead, so fuck that. Excuse me. But yeah, now to actually do the other thing I wanted to do here. I'm going to go up here and deal with all his little friends. Now I'm just going to aggro them to drag them into this hall here, because that's actually more ideal for me. Poke. Run back a bit, because they'll line up basically, and you can use the halberd to just run them all through at the same time. Trying to get an opening here, then slash, and that's why you use a halberd. You can take down a lot of enemies with very little effort. I take down 4 at a time. Not that many other weapons. There's not that many other weapons you can do that with. You can do it with pyromancy and spells, I guess, but still, I like the halberd. It's an effective, versatile weapon. But yeah, over here we have, I think it's just some souls. Yeah, it's just some souls. I can't remember every item and where they are, and I try my best, but I can't really do it. But up here we have another Baldurn Knight, so let's try and take care of him. And he's one of the... No, he's one of the rapier guys. So he would have raped me if I weren't careful there. But run over here, and there's a door here that's slightly smashed. So we'll break it. But first we are going to go over here. Well, I did break it, but I'm not going to go in until I've gone over here and collected these souls. Oh, Humanity. Never mind. Close enough. And now we are going to go up there. This is what we needed the mystery key for. It's basically this guy's cell. You'll see what I mean.
Oh, still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse.
Yeah, but who locked you up, bro? I don't know. Probably Patches.
Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Karim. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later.
I want it now.
Yes, very sorry. Your reward will have to wait. I've just been freed. Allow me some time.
Would you trust a guy with a voice like that? I wouldn't. Back. I don't know why it's back. Be wary of liar. Yeah. I'll explain that in a moment. But right now I'm going to go get one of the best rings you can actually get early on in the game. It loses its effectiveness once you get a certain level and a certain amount of equipment. It's not really that great after that, but in the beginning it's really good. So I am going to go for it. And it's also really easy to get, so why not? But yeah, we need to go to Fireling's Shrine first. Yeah, just passing out with my shield here. No real reason. I just felt like it. That's the parrying move, by the way. That's how it looks when you're not standing against an enemy. Hey, Petrus. Still hate that guy. But I hate this guy down here even more. Just trying out if I can actually kick with this weapon. You can't kick with all weapons. Sometimes you do a special attack if you try to kick with it. But this weapon you can kick with. And I'll show you in a moment why I want to kick. Oh, and I don't hate the Crestfallen guy.
Don't you ever think to forge your weapons?
I already did, bro.
You'd better find a smith box soon. Unless you enjoy swinging about with blunt instruments.
What if I do?
How did that silly sorcerer's apprentice end up? You know, the one always prattling on about Master Logan. He left for the Undead Burg, but never came back. Serves him right. If even old Big Hat can't make it out there, what chance does he have? I hope he enjoys his new life as a hollow.
This guy is kind of depressing, but that was actually a hint.
What now?
A hint on how to get a certain NPC up to the Fireling's Shrine, but I'll cover that later. Hey Lautrec, you see you made it here fast.
Hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it.
That's my reward?
I am grateful to you for freeing me. Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
I want to be greedy. And I'll show you in a moment why. Just taking away my weapon just for safety's sake.
By the Lords, your face. Your humanity is really slipping, but there are methods. Most fools have more humanity than they know what to do with. Now, who do you imagine will make the best use of it?
Definitely not you.
You again. What is it? Our futures are murky. Let's not be too friendly now.
Sure, I won't. Just making sure I can kick. But yeah, if you don't do what I'm about to do, you will actually kill her.
Well, what have we here?
But I don't feel like doing that quest during this playthrough. I might do it in New Game Plus, but not now. So what I'm going to do is, hey, he's on a ledge.
Are you sure about this?
Messed up here. It's, for some reason I have had trouble executing a kick. But yeah, if you don't equip your weapon, you won't do enough damage for him. No, he went down. What a shame. But yeah, if you can kick him down there, and that'll kill him. It does count as you killing him though, so you need to get absolution for it. But I don't really mind. But yeah, if you log out and then reload your game, you can go get. I don't know why that fire was there, but oh well. But yeah, you can go pick up this item, a humanity and ring of favor and protection. A really good ring. So yeah, we did get a reward. Just not the reward he expected us to get. Now, there is a side quest associated with this guy and the Firekeeper Binder, because he will kill her if you don't kill him, and then he'll disappear into a stage you won't get to for a very long time, and you will be able to unable to use the bonfire up here until you kill him and bring back her soul. Basically, it really sucks, but yeah.
Oh, have you seen that terribly morose lass? The Firekeeper. She's stuck keeping that bonfire lit. Sad, really. She's mute and bound to this forsaken place. They probably cut her tongue out back in her village, so that she'd never say any god's name in vain. How do these martyrs keep chugging along? I'd peter out in an instant.
Yeah, I like this guy. He's suitably depressed. If I was in this situation, I'd probably just do like he did. Sit around, not doing anything, telling people it's hopeless. But yeah, that's it for now. Later, guys.